Is politics dividing America? I would say the answer to that is yes. And I believe that you believe that too. But I think it's deeper. And to go deeper, I have my friend with me, my partner, my co-host, Casey. What's up, bro?
What up, yo?
Are we divided because of politics, bro?
Politics, yes. But I think that's the spoon of it.
What's the bowl?
The system and control.
I agree. I found a really, really good clip, and I like to play it. So I think you're gonna like this, bro.
Let's do
I
it.
want everybody to do me a favor before we even get started. Hey, babe, I see you. That's my queen right there, y'all. That's my wifey. I want you guys to do me a favor. Like this video for me one time for the one time. Share this video out as well. I would greatly appreciate it. It helps the channel. All right, let's jump into this.
Bakersfield. This is a matter of fact. Donald Trump is a criminal. He was found guilty of 34 felony counts of fraud, found liable for sexual abuse. And if he wants to find the rapists and criminals in this country, he should look in the mirror.
What a disgusting thing to say, especially because it's false. But I mean, do we expect anything less from Miss AOC? I think not. How does that clip make you feel, Casey? Is that something that would help to divide people in this country?
Well, it's propaganda cause more division. So that's all they're pushing. And we're also talking about a politician here. They do not want anybody to unite. They only want people to be divided because that's how they remain in power.
100% fact. 100% fact, bro. You know, the reason why I say I feel like it goes deeper than just politics dividing people, I think it's also a lack of education, a lack of God inside their lives, and just a lack of humanity. Because you see people, and this is in no way just geared towards the left, because the right is just as guilty. The people on the right that are so far gone that, you know, Trump can do no wrong, and the people on the left, the Democrats, can do no wrong. Right. And then it goes into, well, I can't be cool with anybody that's a Democrat, or I can't be cool with anybody that's a Republican because we just believe differently. And that comes into, like I say, a lack of spirituality, because before all of that, before your politics should be your faith, as far as I'm concerned. And that's how I rule my life. That's why I'm able to talk with, you know, Democrats or conservatives or libertarians or whoever, because my faith comes above my politics. And even if I disagree on every single point with them when it comes to politics, I can find common ground with us both being believers.
Agreed.
You know, and I feel like that's not pushed enough. People are okay with the divide. People are okay with people like AOC going up on stage and saying things like that about the person that is the president of the United States of America. I disagree with anybody doing that on either side. I used to think it was funny, right, when we would talk crap about Joe Biden. But you see at the end there, we started to change it up. And we're like, this isn't really funny. We shouldn't be laughing at this because he's declining, right? Sure. And we started to come around to that. And it's just my thoughts, like my prayers that would happen now with everybody else.
Yeah, you're a little bit nicer than I am. And it's like the live you were just on, and then you were trying to end it all polite, and I would have just ended it with a F off and hang up the phone.
Yeah.
But when it comes to politicians, I don't really care what anybody says, because they really don't care about you or me or any of us Americans. They really do not give a rat's ass. So I will return that to them. I don't care about any of the politicians. Not one.
I feel that. I totally understand. And it's not unthinkable that that's where a lot of people's minds are right now, because of what we've seen go on. Right now, we've seen so much corruption get put out it's like, whoa, hold on, wait a minute. These people are supposed to be representing us, and they've been doing all of this behind our back. They've been doing all of this at our expense. They've been sending money where? You know, so it's not a shock. But again, I feel like too many people are only blaming one side. Nobody's holding these other people accountable. Like, and I got to bring it up, even though I love, you know, I got some love for Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? I got love for Marjorie Taylor Greene because she came to the prison. while we were locked up. But I find it strange that the people that are on the left, the people that are on the right won't hold that same thought process that they held towards Jasmine Crockett when we found out that Jasmine Crockett been scraping money off from wherever to get her wealth to where it is. People aren't questioning the same thing with people like MTG or anybody else that's part of the Republican Party. So again, we've let it just divide. We've let it divide us to where we can't even see the wrong in the other side. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't actually agree with that.
Okay.
I think I do see the right does call out some people on the right, but there is a bigger group that do blindly follow. And those are the people that you're probably more referring to.
Mhm.
But look at the amount of people that was defending Thomas Massie when Donald Trump said he needed to be primaried because he didn't agree with the spending bill. A lot of people on the right were like, wait a minute, he's the only politician we have that wants to cut spending. No, we're not primarying him. But then there was a huge group of them saying that he's a piece of garbage. And I'm sure there will be ending up some in the comments that will be like, oh, he needs to be primaried. He needs to go because they're regurgitating and saying the exact words that Donald Trump has been saying. And that's the problem with politics is Americans don't have the time to put the effort in to make sure they support the right people and back the right people or vote in the right people. So they vote for the name they recognize, but then they also try to talk about the stuff that they don't really know what they're talking about. The left does the same thing. You have all of the same thing, the same group of people. They don't see the stuff on their side. And a lot of this could be encouraged and divided by an algorithm on the internet. That they're not seeing the opposing view. They're not being able to engage because the algorithm keeps people divided.
That is
in an echo chamber.
Big facts, bro. People stay inside their echo chambers. And that's where, that's one of the reasons why I like that other platform that you just heard me on before I came over here, right? Is because it allows you to be inside of a room with people that you normally would not talk to, right? And you're having these discussions and having these debates. But the problem you run into on a setting like that is they're there, but not to hear you out or to listen. They're only there to argue their point. They're not trying to receive anything or even look into anything that you're saying. They only want to argue their position, and that's what they believe, and that's what they're running with. It's like everybody is afraid, like to the max, to be wrong, you know? Which brings me into my next talking point, right? I put out a video yesterday about people calling out being too critical of Trump, right? And then I started reading some of the comments that were in my YouTube channel. Which I do. I've been reading the comments, and there are some left-leaning people that brought some things to my attention and made me do a little digging, you know. And then also Free State Will on X. Free State Will actually sparked my curiosity and made me start thinking like, okay, maybe you need to take a step back here and really look into this and see why people are saying what they're saying. Why are they being so critical? And I came across this clip, and this clip is really interesting, bro. Really, really interesting. And I'm going to let you hear it, and then we're going to talk about it.
I want to ask your thoughts on the news yesterday. We didn't touch on this at all. Donald Trump filed a lawsuit yesterday.
Yeah, and it's probably, hopefully he's not listening. It's his best one yet. No.
Oh, is that right?
I think so. It's the most conclusive, comprehensive lawsuit. It's basically if you took the Russiagate investigation, which Jevin and I ran, and looked at it from a criminal perspective, what Donald Trump has done is said, okay, how do I encompass everyone from Comey, Clinton, Clapper, Brennan, and all the whole DNC crew on down? How do I get them civilly in federal court? And the way you do it is you utilize this thing called RICO, Racketeering Enforcement and Corrupt Organizations. We used to prosecute gangs under RICO statutes criminally.
Cartels. You're right.
But what most people don't realize is RICO also has a civil function. So what he did was he took the RICO statute, which is permissible under by law, and said these guys orchestrated the largest criminal enterprise in U.S. history, but I'm suing them on my civil side of the house for, I don't know, $75 million. The whole point, right, is to get to discovery.
Yes. Well, then also civil can lead to criminal.
Absolutely. It can. But I think John Durham's got that covered. We can talk about that later. But I think what the president wanted to focus on was finally say, I'm not going after onesies and twosies here. I'm bringing everybody in, one federal lawsuit. Everybody's got to go to the table as a defense.
So just being objective, do you think this has a chance of...
Yes.
Walk us through why, because I mean we've just kind of been so used to be cynical.
Sure,
right?
and you know we talk about how hard it is for defamation and when you get deplatformed
Right.
and all that. This is totally different animal. What he did was figure out a way with his team of lawyers to say, okay, how can we encompass everybody? And the only real way to do that is RICO. But is there a way to hold them accountable under that statute civilly? RICO permits that both monetarily with judgments north of $100 million, which he doesn't really care about. But if you find them at fault, the discovery process along the way is what's critical, because they're going to have to come in and say, no, Mr. President, we did not violate the RICO statute. We did not enter into an organized conspiracy against you to prevent you from being president. And then while you were president, we did not go up and illegally surveil you. And by the way, the great thing is, how are they going to get around that? There's an inspector general report that says exactly what they did, and that's what Donald Trump brought civilly. And there's also Department of Justice filings, the revocation of the FISA warrants against Carter Page. How are they going to get around that? These are judicial rulings in place and concrete memorandum under oath that they can't die.
Okay, so right there, let me understand why people are so upset right now. Because this is an old video. People are all excited in the comments of this video, right? But this is an old video. And nothing has happened. So now I kind of understand why some people are like, yo, what's going on? They're not holding these people accountable. They've been telling us they got all this stuff, that they got all this proof. And even now with Doge, and then finding out the stuff with the mortgages and all Social Security, why has there been no arrest? Why do you think there's been no arrest?
Because we're talking about politicians to hold politicians accountable. You're not going to see any arrests. You won't see any arrests.
You don't think so?
No.
I do.
If we were arresting people, politicians, we would have already arrested a lot of people.
Yeah.
There was already enough stuff exposed over the last 6 months that you could be arresting people.
That's what I'm thinking too now that I've been looking into it, man.
There's no one doing anything. There's Pam Bondi going on Fox News touring like she needs a job, and that's all she does is talk. She doesn't do anything. And if you don't believe me, go and look it up. Like, she had to release multiple MS-13 gang members that they came out and did this big press conference that they caught. Turns out they're not really the gang members they thought they were. So they had to be released.
I didn't see that.
This is showing you the dysfunction in this government. For example, RFK, Maha. Oh yeah, we're going to be cleaning up everything. We're going to do all this great stuff. And now he's in a gigantic sexting issue.
What?
And then you have him to where he is being called out because he's playing both sides of the coin on the measles argument. He wrote a book and then he went on live TV. And he said two different things about measles, that, oh, vaccines are the only ways you can eradicate it. Oh, no, vaccines are bad. Like, make up your mind.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, bro. I'm still like, I feel like this is my thought process on it, right? My thought process is like this. They have not been able to arrest. They can arrest people right now, but it would be pointless to arrest them right now because you still have so many crooked politicians, crooked judges, crooked prosecutors that are in charge. So what would be the point of making an arrest right now if you know that these are just their buddies and they're probably going to get off?
Americans want to see accountability. We have not seen accountability in our elected officials in probably over a century at this point.
Yeah.
They have been doing whatever the hell they want, spending all of the taxpayer money and padding their lives and their pockets and living very lavishly while they're slowly draining our bank accounts by ruining the value of the dollar and also making the economy, let alone slowly taking away our rights throughout this entire process.
So do you think that this falls?
Never been in our been working for us.
Okay, so does this fall on Trump, or do you think he just has some bad picks?
Have some bad picks? Didn't he have many bad picks in 2016?
Facts. He admitted that.
And Michelle, where's the Epstein list? They promised it a long time ago.
Bro, I was going to touch on that.
Executive order. We were supposed to have the MLK files. We were supposed to have the RFK files. We got some JFK files. There's a JFK video that Anna Paulina Luna wants out in the open and everybody to talk about that no one in the government will release.
There's also a video, or there's evidence that I've seen this on I think it was Free State Will, actually. He got this person that's trying to release a whole bunch of stuff about January 6th, but the government's saying, no, we can't release the stuff about January 6th because it'll put people at risk, which in my opinion means that you're admitting that you had agents that you don't want to be known about, that were out there and literally involved in people's cases. So I don't know, bro. Like, ever since I made that video yesterday, and I've been looking at all these different articles, I've been reading, I've been going on people's pages that were commenting, and then going down this rabbit hole again, and I'm like, oh my God. So now I'm over here in this mind frame that's like, are we getting scammed?
I don't think we're getting scammed. I do still feel Donald Trump's trying, but the problem is we have exposed the entire corruption. If you go back and watch my show last night, anybody in the comments, I posed to you, like, we walked through this mentally and we were talking through, like, what do we do? What is our course of action? And you have corrupt judges throughout the entire country that are making poor decisions. You have a corrupt judge in northern Utah here that was just caught for being a pedo, and he refuses to resign. And our governor saying, well, you better, or I'm going to make you. I'm going to pull you. And guess what? We looked it up. You don't have a whole lot of options to fix a corrupt judge in your state.
Facts.
Only 2 states elect judges on a large level. They're usually lower district judges that we elect in most of our states. Now, some of them, like Wisconsin, you elect Supreme Court, etc. But it varies from state to state to state. But there's only 2 states that you really have a whole lot of recourse out of all 50. So that tells you corrupt judges, you don't have a whole lot of recourse.
Right.
And
It's
so
crazy.
that's where I've said this to Free. You've probably heard me say it a few times. Like, I'm getting more and more to the point of just burn it all down. There's no other solution.
That's for entertainment purposes. We don't really mean to go and burn anything down. No, but look, bro, I'm gonna say it like this.
I say whatever I want.
I feel you, but no, I don't think it's Trump at all, right? And the reason I say that is because the way that they came at the man, the way they literally tried to take his life, they tried to lock him up, they tried everything. They tried to smear him in the media, everything. So I don't think that necessarily it's Trump. What I'm thinking, especially because I've been going down this rabbit hole, man, and then seeing that video and then looking into some things, it's like, is there anybody that he can really have around him that he can trust? Is there such thing as any of these people meaning what they said? Because we were told, and this is to be fair, I went and looked at the clip. We were told that there's going to be arrest. We were told that they were going to release the Epstein list. We were told that they were going to do a whole lot of stuff. And the people that he appointed to get these things done, they haven't done it.
No. And the one person, well, there's a couple people that still have. Like, Cash is doing okay. Cash Patel is doing all right. I can't crucify him yet. Tom Hallman doing his work.
He's doing
Kristi
fantastic.
Kristi Noem, as Free calls her, is the political Barbie. She just goes around and just takes pictures. But these are all politicians that have been around this stuff forever and know how to play this game. And that's all they're doing. The part that gave me a lot of hope is when Trump started bringing in other people into his cabinet. He was picking different people than the traditional politicians of what he did in 2016. I'm like, maybe he learned. Turns out we're not on a good path the last little bit, because right now it seems like we are back into status quo from 2016.
Yeah, but then again, like my other mind says things like, okay, maybe they are playing the politic game, right? And knowing that primaries are going to be coming around, then we're going to make some arrests. We're going to lock some people up. We're going to really push to end the IRS. We're going to really, all these things that they said that they were going to do. What if they're waiting for midterms to come around to actually
do
do that?
That would be horrible. That would be the worst idea possible, because you need to be able to keep people supporting you and believing you. You're seeing MAGA fall off right now. And if you don't believe me, I already did the rants
No,
on
I
X.
do. I
Like,
believe you.
most of the people in here probably haven't even heard my rants on X around this, but you have the SNAP program. The SNAP program, we wanted to remove Snowda from SNAP program. Okay, I'm okay with it. And the reason why is because you shouldn't be consuming that crap anyways. And if you're going to live on the taxpayer dollar, you should be eating some healthy food, not junk food, not shit. But guess what? You have big MAGA accounts that were out posting it on their social media platforms because they were paid by Influenceable to push a narrative to say Snap needs to keep soda on the program. And these
That's
are
crazy.
big MAGA people.
That's crazy.
That is against Maha. That is against what some of these people were doing. And by the way, one of them has done shows with us a lot, and he also was part of an event that we did. And it's pathetic.
Really?
Yes. Chad
Who?
Prather.
Oh wow. That's crazy. See, but that's what I'm saying, bro. A lot of these. So when we talk about is politics dividing America, in a way, yes, for sure. But in a way, it's deeper than just the politics. It's the people that are money driven.
It's the
People
spoon.
that are money. This the what?
It's the spoon. It's the delivery.
Yeah. People that are money driven, man, that are only driven by getting a check. They'll say anything. They'll switch up on you in a heartbeat and deny everything that they believed one time. And it's not because they changed the way that they thought. No, they were only always thinking about the money. So they're talking heads.
Yep.
You know, with influence. And that's a
Look at-
problem, bro.
Look at Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson was saying all the right things, and everybody was saying MAGA Mike when he was selected to be Speaker of the House. Now, most people hate him. Nobody wants him in his position. No American wants him, but Trump keeps him there. It's Fauci 2.0.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what to make of this, bro. I really don't. I'm like scratching my head just a little bit. You know, I don't know. I don't know what to think right now.
I agree with
Especially
you.
going down these little rabbit holes, man.
Yeah. It sucks. Like the rough part about this is we have to realize that it's got to start coming back and being within our control. We got to be doing things. We got to be vocal. We got to be engaged, and we got to be involved. Voting for who you just think is going to fix all of the problems, which is most of you that have followed us for a while know that I hate Q and hate that whole narrative, because it tells people to sit back and watch Donald Trump fix the system.
Yeah.
That is not the way the United States was formed or it is supposed to work. It's supposed to be on us Americans going and fixing everything. It's not supposed to be you elect a politician to do it.
And I kind of feel like what if that's another angle? Because they are exposing a whole bunch of stuff that's going on, right? But you don't see the American people saying or doing anything about it. It's all they're doing. They'll make Facebook posts or YouTube or whatever, you know, but nobody will go up and say, you know what, we need to go and talk with our state representative. We need to go and have a sit down because we're not okay with this. People aren't doing that. So that's your duty, what you're supposed to do. If I'm not even going to say it because I don't want to get indicted again. I'm just going to be quiet. I got another clip.
I'm glad you keep saying these things, because it's reminding me, because I have been doing shows and just saying whatever I want. I just don't care.
Yeah, I know, but I ain't trying to get indicted. I'm still on federal probation. Let me just not.
Thanks.
So
Obama.
listen to this.
Do you think the Trump administration is defying a court order?
It certainly appears that they are, and they're trying to play too cute with parsing words. The court has ordered the return of this person, and that the Trump administration should do it. They're paying an authoritarian leader in El Salvador to hold people in the worst imaginable types of prisons that he has sent there without any due process. And this isn't just about Mr. Garcia. This is about every American understanding that this president is making an assault on the due process rights that are afforded to people in our country. Everybody from Anton Scalia to other conservative think tanks have said very clearly, you cannot disappear people off American streets. We are a nation of rules, and due process is clearly one of them. And to erode the due process rights of anyone is a threat to the due process rights of everyone. This is a democratic slippage, and we all should be speaking out against it.
What do you think about that, Casey?
I think Cory Booker is a piece of garbage. But when it comes to, I think Trump has every right to be able to go against a judge's order in his position. If they don't like it, take him to court.
Exactly.
And we'll see
Biden
what
did.
Right. And that's where that's where you generally take things to be able to make change in this country. And when you have a conflict is in court. But the problem we have now is we have so many corrupt districts that you can't trust that you're going to get a fair trial anymore. That was part of my show last night. Did Carmelo Anthony get an easy out and get his bond decreased and let him walk to be on house arrest? Or was Kyle Rittenhouse unfairly treated? Like, which one happened? Do you know the situation between Carmelo Anthony and Austin?
Yeah, I did a whole little thing about it.
So what do you think about Carmelo Anthony's bond being decreased and allowing him to walk free and be on house arrest?
I mean, all right, so let me be careful here, right? I'm okay with the bond being decreased from $1 million because there's a ton of people that commit a violent act like that don't get $1 million bond. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I get that part. I'm not okay with what he did, obviously. I'm not okay with what he did, but I feel like that was a fair bond for him to have. And the reason why I say this is because you guys got to remember I'm a January 6er. And a lot of people that were involved with January 6th were denied bond flat out. You know, so I believe that everybody should be able to get a bond that is reasonable. And then on top of it, even though he did a heinous act, he's still a kid. You know, he's a kid and he's going away. Like, he ain't going to get off on this. He's going to prison. So let him get his affairs in order. You know, even though the other kid can't, it's sad because the other kid can't get his affairs in order and that family got to suffer, you know, without their child and go through that whole process. But justice is going to take its course, is how I feel.
Sure. So the reason why I pose this question is I got thinking about this through the show last night. Where did we go? What is the difference? Is it two different courts? Is the judge that made the decision on Carmelo kind of leaning too far left to be able to let these people walk free when they do something heinous like that? Or was it the court's just unfair to Kyle Rittenhouse? Because Kyle Rittenhouse had to post $2 million cash bail to get out, and he was held in there for 82 days.
Yeah, that's
Kyle
unreasonable.
Rittenhouse, on the night of the everything in Kenosha, that night we had all the evidence. I was live. We went over it. You could tell it was self-defense because you could see him running for his life everywhere he was going.
Yeah.
So there was no reason for 82 days and a $2 million bail. When you have Carmelo Anthony, we don't even have video. We have hearsay right now. We have no evidence. There's nothing. And so they decrease it. Now, I'm not okay with him being free right now. I think he should have been kept in there. But I
agree.
I'm okay with it being decreased. I think that's where they went right in the process. But where it was done wrong is that court case was in Dallas, DFW. Kyle Rittenhouse was done in Wisconsin, which is very liberal. And so, of course, Kyle Rittenhouse didn't get a fair trial. We even covered the trial live. And with the trial, it wasn't fair for him. It was kind of cornering. They tried to really pin him down, but the evidence, they couldn't do anything with the evidence. It just spoke too loudly that he was running for his life.
Agreed.
And
the kid's lucky I wasn't the judge. I'll say that. Carmelo's lucky I wasn't the judge because I would have been like, no, that $1 million to stand just like that. You know, like I said, I'm okay with the fact that they lowered it. This is what I'll say. I'm upset at how they raised the money to get him out. That's what I'm upset about. I'm upset about the family raising almost $1 million and then getting the bond reduced and then taking that money and going and buying a brand new house that costs about $800,000. I'm not okay with that.
Sure.
I think that that's horrible, and that they're profiting off of the death of a young kid, man. They're profiting off of somebody else's pain, because that family, how you think that family feels? They lost their son. They're not getting any compensation. Nobody's got a GoFundMe going for them to help
do.
them.
They do.
It's messed up.
Yeah,
It's messed up, bro.
Yeah, I agree, but let me correct a couple things that you have wrong on that. They didn't buy the house; they are renting it. It is a very expensive.
$800,000.
It's an expensive home, and the other thing is with it, the money that he got, like GoFundMe, even shut down the GoFundMe. He ended up getting the money because they restarted a campaign on Give Send Go. This is where division is coming in, this one topic, and this is why I was also bringing it up. Look at everybody on the right. A brand new car that costs $150K. Okay, fine. But here's where, wait until the truth comes out. Everybody runs with everything right away until they actually get the facts. Everybody was saying Carmelo's family bought this house when it was incorrect. They're actually renting the house.
Well, it's
And
still
so-
a new house, though. What they mean bought it, maybe they didn't mean bought it as in they paid cash
Still
for it.
very different to renting a house versus buying a house.
Yeah, but
And-
they still moved, dog. That's pretty messed up. They moved into a
They-
really little
they
mini
might-
mansion, bro.
That's fine. That's fine. But the problem is this is the division topic. We are choosing to pick sides without having all of the facts. Some of the other stuff I also learned after my show last night. He was there because one of his friends were there in the track meet. I don't agree with how he escalated the situation with a knife. Like, that's ridiculous. Even if it was self-defense, he was probably pushed, is what's being said. That's not a reason to stab somebody if you were pushed. And
Facts.
that's the thing. That is my beef with the whole problem. But again, we don't have all of the facts, but everybody is being very stern with their opinions where they're at when they don't even have the facts.
They got some witness statements, though, bro.
Huh?
They have witness statements, which are going to be used in court.
Have they been released?
Yeah, I
Okay,
read them
but-
on my video.
Wait until the truth comes out, because what do we know about witness statements? They use witness statements against Trump. They use witness statements against Alex Jones.
Yeah, I get that. But
They-
even if a friend did invite him there, though, bro, this is my thing. Even if a friend did invite him, let me just say, it's tragic. The whole situation is tragic
It
that
is
a young
very-
kid will feel that he needed to go and do that to another young kid. I get it. I understand. I've been there. I was once that kid. I was once Carmelo. So I'm not going to be too harsh on him, right? But the thing is, you show up there knowing that you got a problem with dudes that are over there, and you brought something with you to defend yourself, right? And from the witness statement thus far that you're saying not to believe yet and maybe just wait it out, it says, because the first thing that they pushed was the kid pushed him and then he told him, push me again or hit me and see what happens.
Mhm.
But the witness statement says that first dude told him go and then pushed him and told him to go, get out of their spot. And then Carmelo backed off, went in his backpack, grabbed it, went up to the dude, and
Yeah.
that's cold blooded, brother. That's I don't see no defense for that.
I don't agree with the way he escalated it. If it was a push, there is no reason for that type of thing. If you wanted to throw a punch, I'll let you do that. But
All
there's no
day.
reason to go grab a knife or a weapon of any sort.
Yeah.
And that's where you need to be held accountable for that action. You took somebody's life, and you shouldn't have escalated it the way you did. You're 17 years old. You should be tried as an adult, and we need to go through court and have the actual data before we process and we put any garbage on the internet. Now, I didn't agree with it being decreased initially, but in my video last night and walking through it, I think she did the right job. The part that frustrates me is the way Kyle Rittenhouse got treated very differently. Now,
Yeah.
one of the other topics that I also brought up last night, if the roles were reversed, Cash, if the roles were reversed and the guy that passed away was black, not white, you would have saw a whole different uproar.
100%. Bro, I already know. It would have been, especially on my ex, you would have seen all types of people talking about
Mhm.
See, these animals can't act right. They did, you know what I'm saying? It would have been the same exact thing.
But this is where I'm taking it. It's going that way, but I'm just saying the roles reversed. The scenario didn't change. It's just the color of their skin changed and
Yeah.
flipped. But you would have everybody operating off of zero facts and zero information and have all of this emotion so quickly. We got to wait until we have the information and do something logically.
That's a
That is
fact.
where we allow all of this garbage and these stupid people on the internet that don't know what they're talking about or want to push a certain narrative influence us to feel a certain way. That
That's a
is
fact.
where a lot of the division is coming from.
I agree, bro. I 100% agree. And my whole thing is I hate that they make everything a racial issue. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many people around me right now, right? People are gonna there's somebody probably losing their life right now in around my way. You feel me? And it doesn't make national headlines. It stays into the city. It'll make the news maybe in the city. But as soon as it's a racial thing, or what they can push as a racial thing that not necessarily even is racial, then it gets pushed. So when we talk about the divide in America, which for some reason, there is a big push for a racial divide in America. And they use the media, they use social media, they use the politics, they use movies, they use every single thing, music, they use everything at their disposal to push this into the minds of people to now where you're seeing people racially divided on social media. I can't tell you how many times I see somebody saying something racial in the comments to somebody else or about somebody else when it shouldn't even be a thing.
Agreed.
And that's part of the divide. So politics is dividing, media is dividing, music is dividing. It just seems like whoever is in control of all of these things wants people to be at odds with each other so they can keep on playing with the hidden hand in the background and moving pieces around the table, man. That's how I feel.
Yeah, and in the book 1984, the party intentionally creates and perpetuates chaos to maintain power and control over the citizens. That is exactly what is being done by the government, their friends in being in mainstream media, their friends in healthcare, and their friends in all of these things. And that's what they try to keep doing, is keep the chaos going, and then it's going to keep the division fueling the division. And then Americans won't know what to do, and they either just start caving and giving up and not paying attention, putting their head in the sand, or it gets more serious.
I agree. So just to wrap this thing up, I didn't plan on being here too long. The question that we posed is politics dividing America? Is it dividing us? The answer to that is obviously yes. But as we've been talking, you see all the other different things that they use to divide us. People are being divided in all types of different ways. What can you do about it? Well, in each situation, you got to use your second thought. Don't go with your first thought. Just how we were talking about the Carmelo case. We're quick to jump on something. We got to stop being so reactionary to anything that's going on with me. I did it yesterday. I reacted yesterday to a video. I made a video because I reacted to some things that I was seeing on social media. And it caused me to just like, you know what? I got to do a video about this. And then right after I made the video, which I'm going to leave up, after I did the video, I started reading the comments, and it sparked my curiosity to go and read some more and look into this situation. And now I'm like, okay, I understand where they're coming from. And if we can all just do that, just take a moment and then admit when you messed up. I probably shouldn't have made that video yesterday, everybody. I'm admitting it. I probably shouldn't have made that video yesterday and pushed the way that I pushed, but I did, and I'm owning up for it. My bad, everybody. If I made you feel some type of way, I still love you. And that's where we can start to bridge this. Admit when you're wrong. Admit when you're wrong, or just admit that you don't know something. There's nothing wrong with you saying, hey, you know what? I don't know. I don't know if this is true. I don't know if I believe this fully. I want to believe this because it sounds good, and this is my party, or this is my people, or whatever the case is, but I don't know if it's true. That is how we start to curb this, man.
Yeah.
That's how we start to curb it.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of it is also like the biggest thing that I can tell you on how you can take back control in these situations is to be engaged in your community, grow your community, and be bringing in like-minded people, not because of political views or anything like that, but a passion and taking care of the community around you. Because the only thing that you can do is build up a great community and help grow it. You can't start from the top at the federal government to fix this nation. You have to start in your community and grow that to fix this nation.
Bro, I agree 100%. 100%. You guys, I really appreciate y'all because you made that video go crazy, and it was a good video. It's just I probably should have worded a couple things differently. So thank you guys for the love on that video that you got on my YouTube, and thank you for everybody that switched over from all the other platforms to come to my YouTube channel and engage in the comments and all of that. I really appreciate you. To my moderators, I appreciate you. To everybody that's watching on all the other platforms, I love y'all, man. I do. And even if you disagree with me politically, because there was a lot of people that had some negative stuff to say because I'm a Trump supporter. Look, I love you, man. No matter what your politics are, no matter what color you are, no matter what your religion is, I don't care about any of that. You're my brother, you're my sister in Christ, whether or not you believe in that. I do. So I'm going to treat you like that in every instance, the best that I can. Now, I'm human. I might slip up and call you out your name, but if I do, I'm sorry. But I love you, and I hope that we could be friends. All right? Casey, you got anything else?
We can't be friends.
I love you, bro. With that, everybody, unite. Don't fight. Be a street light. It's only you can be the change you wish to see in the world. And when you get too stressed out, you got to remember to pray, America, because without God, everything falls apart. Smash that like button and that subscribe button. And if you're not watching me on YouTube, what are you doing? Go over to YouTube. All right? I appreciate y'all. Peace.
Now that your account's going to be removed.